Insurrection 5.0, world's longest urinal, the New York City subway. Then they marched to Brooklyn Bridge, and this is what it sounded like on Twitter. The intelligence of these protesters is absolutely astounding. Absolutely astounding. And all of this over the death of 30-year-old Jordan Neely, a quote-unquote black performer who liked to impersonate Michael Jackson on the train. So just to bring you up to speed here, on Monday, on the F train, Jordan Neely was doing his shtick, but he apparently suffered from mental health issues, so it was causing a scene, may have been high on something, who knows, and a 24-year-old Marine subdued him. Well, actually, a 24-year-old Marine, another white man, and a black man. Now, there is a story of unity. Two white men, one a Marine, and one black man come together to subdue somebody who's causing a scene on a subway in New York. How come nobody's covering that angle? But according to AOC, Jordan Neely was houseless. Not homeless, but houseless. It's like saying transient. Somehow it makes you sound more upper class. Well, unfortunately, Jordan Neely died. And people are claiming that this Marine had him in a chokehold. That's not true. It was a submission hold. Now, you can argue whether or not he should have been on the ground with Jordan for 15 minutes or whatever the time was. But now people are calling for this Marine to face criminal charges, involuntary manslaughter, second-degree murder. And I can guarantee you that none of these protesters ever met Jordan Neely. And as it turns out, ladies and gentlemen, he had a criminal past, a lengthy criminal record, 42 counts, including assaulting a 67-year-old woman. I believe on the same day that this incident happened. But he was a victim, you see. But can we call these protests an insurrection? Hey, you ultra-leftist, you create the template. So if you create the template, we have every right to use it. If we're an independent voter like myself, or a conservative, Republican, I think both parties are full of crap. What I want to do is go to Twitter and read you the comments at Twitter. So some of them might be from the day before today. And you know these people are going to plan to protest this weekend. So let's go over to Twitter. Oh, before I forget, for all you SJWs out there who are frustrated that when you protest, loot, and riot, you don't get anywhere, nobody's hearing your voice, well, now's your chance to cash in. Invest in the Jordan Neely Black Gold Token with just a tint of black to make you feel down for the struggle. For more info, call 188-VICTIM. Sorry, not available in the South. That's parody, YouTube. That's parody. So let's go over to Twitter here, see some of the comments. And let me just pick one here. Okay, this looks good. A protest on a downtown Manhattan over the death of a man suffering an apparent mental health. Huh? Their grammar is way off here. Apparent mental health episode aboard a train turned into an angry confrontation over policing and social welfare priorities in New York City on Wednesday. Well, this wasn't an altercation with an officer. This was a private citizen who was a Marine who was trying to de-escalate the situation. According to Pro-NYC, demonstrators, lots of police and press on subway platform near where Jordan... Insurrection, folks! It's an insurrection. Where Jordan Neely was choke-held. He wasn't choke-held. It was a submission hold. SRG and other NYPD separating group, keeping people back. Sounds like January 6th, doesn't it? Somebody else chimes in, quote, "This is all meant to distract people. Fox and Friends host Rachel Campos Duffy dismisses protest over the killing of Jordan Neely as some sort of Democratic conspiracy to consolidate power with fake racial stuff." Fake racial stuff. Well, I really don't think this is a racial issue. This is a we don't know how to get our act together in our city issue and crack down on the riffraff. That's exactly what this is. And who is the idiot in New York City who's passing these policies? Who's letting people like Jordan Neely go in and out of the system day in and day out? Just curious, is Ronald Reagan still governor of California? You know that story, right? That he closed down the mental institutions in California. Yeah, I know that Reagan passed on, but I'm just saying, that's the story that was relayed to me when I lived in California, that Ronald Reagan as governor closed all the mental institutions. Massive chaos. SRG ran into the crowd from the back, resulting in pushing, shoving, people getting stuck between layers of cops, and shoved some more, pushed down, then grabbed while trying to help each other get up. January 6th all over again, but this time in New York City. Oh, there's the insurrectionist. I mean, these protesters, these social justice warriors. Truthfully, man, you got to cash in on this Jordan Neely black gold token. And they've got a clip here of another guy. Now, I think this guy got arrested. He's been at other protests. He's like 28 years old or something. These hashtag Jordan Neely protests are just spring training. There you go. For hashtag Democrats. We're heading into an election season. Time to limber up. And if you don't think that this protest or these protests are not tied to the 2024 election, you got nothing coming. But it is fun to watch these videos. It really is. Fun. Can I talk today? It is fun to watch. Do you know how many takes it's taken to do this video? Well, I had a sore throat this morning, but it's a lot of fun to watch these videos and see these idiots go out there and protest over something they know nothing about. A low man protests the killing of Jordan Neely. He stands with a flag outside of the Manhattan District Attorney's office. Well, maybe the District Attorney's office, the District Attorney here, should get on the ball. Who is it, Bragg? Alvin Bragg? And not turn these felonies into misdemeanors. And then turn around and turn misdemeanors into felonies. Then go after someone like Trump. When he doesn't have the constitutional or state authority to do so. They say, who killed Jordan Neely? And they mention the Marine here. I'm not going to do that. I'm sorry, but this Marine, this other white guy, this black guy, they're heroes. Those three men who tried to de-escalate the situation, they are heroes. Now, yes, again, it's sad that Jordan Neely died. But maybe if Jordan Neely wasn't allowed to go in and out of the system and he was given the help that he needed, and someone told him, no, you're not going to act like this. You're going to get your act together. You're not going to be a bum on the street and pretend to be Michael Jackson and go and harass people. By the way, did Jordan Neely invite kids on the train? Because you know the whole story about Michael Jackson. I'm just joking. I'm just joking. Don't write me in the comments. But whatever happened to George Floyd? Whatever happened to George Floyd? George who? See, and that's the sad thing about all of this. These people, whenever these events happen, they go out, they protest, they raise hell, and then 2 years later, they completely forget about the person that they raised hell about 2 years before. So this is mostly on the protest. Someone writes, the left, you had no idea what Jordan Neely was going to do. He was not in immediate danger to anyone. I know from personal experience from a family member, people with mental illness are very unpredictable, and they can get very violent. This person has no clue what they're talking about. Now they're going to bring up, in this comment here, Kyle Rittenhouse. Kyle Rittenhouse brought a weapon to a protest, therefore he definitely was going to commit a mass shooting and deserve to be beaten and executed. But I think they're making fun of the left here. But this is the logic of the left. Pretzel logic of the left. So these are some of the comments at Twitter. Thought I'd share them with you. Over these protests. Over the death of Jordan Neely. Again, a sad case. But people in New York City. Talking about the people who run the city. New York City. Portland. Seattle. St. Louis. Get your damn act together and knock a couple heads together and go into these neighborhoods, clean out the riffraff, and tell people no. It's not hard to do. It's not hard to figure out, people. Boom, more protest, more video. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, you know what to do. You can also follow me at Instagram, #JasonComposes, because I write music in my spare time. Or you can find me at Twitter, Cultural Confederacy, at CulturalConfed1 on Twitter. In fact, I made a comment here at Twitter about this insurrection at the world's longest urinal. Well, that's what this is, but nobody wants to call it that. So this is the Cultural Confederacy saying peace out, stay safe, everybody. God bless this thing called the United States. And you know how we do it here. This is where the past crashes with the present. Catch you next time.